Hello and welcome back to more video on our Spike Prime tour. Mr. Michael, and this video is going to go over 3 of the sensors that are in the Spike Prime core set. So these elements are going to be your ultrasonic sensor, your force sensor, and your color sensor. So let's get started with the ultrasonic sensor. Ultrasonic sensor looks like some of the previous ultrasonic sensor, and with the education ultrasonic sensor you had the red lights on the front. The retail set doubled as an infrared set which worked through the remote. That is not an option that I've seen on this model here, but they do light up. So you have a half circle on top of the left eye and a half circle under the left eye, and also duplicated on the right eye, half circle on top, half circle on bottom. And you can turn those on in any configuration that you want to. So you can turn just the top half up on, or the bottom half on, and do some really cool things. So when you're going to a direction, it can give you status or different things like that. So you also have connectability on the side, both sides, and on the back. And I put my things away. That is a 7 holes across for connectability for the back part, and 3 on the side. And I spoke of wires, a new wiring system which works on your hub. Any of the 6 ports the sensors will work in, which is fantastic. So you can plug a sensor in, and any 6 ports are all input output, which is fantastic. And when building, the wire on the ultrasonic sensor will lay flat like the large motor on both sides. You can build on top of that if you need to, which works out really, really well. So that's ultrasonic sensor for distance. It's going to find distance, and you can program it to light up when it finds distance and so forth. Color sensor. It will detect 9 different code of color. So your color is coded from 0 to 9, and there is a no color opportunity inside of that. So no color, what does that mean? That could be something that's tie-dye, that's really busy in color, and it just can't distinguish which one it is. Or it could be where the model is too far away from that color. Or it could have a color that, like orange, that it's trying to go between yellow and red on, and it really hasn't figured out what it is, and it could give you a feedback on no color. But the color sensor does light up as well. It has a really good reflective property. It does ambient lighting as well for here, for percentage. And what it does, I believe, a little bit better is it allows the color sensor to be lifted from a surface a lot higher and give correctability. So before, you would have millimeters, 1 to 2 centimeters for that color sensor. You may need to box it off for it to see correctly. Now you can register a pretty good reading, correct reading, about this high distance between your color sensor. So 1, 2, 3 centimeters will allow you to and not be distracted by outside reflectability. So it's distinct in doing that. They've done some really good configuration, and look how small that's they just done really well with that. The color sensors before were a little bit bigger, like the force sensor, which I'll geek out on that in just a few minutes. So the wire on that will disappear or flatten on the side. You can see the 2 pegabilities, 2 connectabilities on the side here, 2 connectability, 2 and 2 on the side. None in the front section here. So if you just need to figure out how to do that, either set it on top of something on the side, or if you can box it in, that would just box it into something, and it should be just fine where it is. So color sensor, colors, reflective, ambient, and it does light up. So you can have it light up and recognize something and give you status back on it as well. The force sensor, I was gonna talk about, it's a touch sensor, but no, we've been waiting on this for a while for the touch sensor and force sensor, excuse me. Force sensor is you can turn it on and off, and that was it. I would say that was a touch sensor, and that would be the end of the conversation. But for another minute and a half, I can geek out on the newtons that this will go through 0 through 10. So on your screen, when you see your force sensor, it'll say 0 in. It's not on. It's not the letter O and N. It's not on. It's actually 0 newtons showing up. What I'm concerned about is it doesn't show 1 newton. It only goes to 2. So once you give it a little push, you'll feel a resistance, and that's 2 newtons. It doesn't register between that area there, although it's working. It just doesn't show up on the screen. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and flat is 10 newtons. And you can do a percentage of push as well in between that. So you can, I've had probably between the gyro sensor on the hub and the force sensor, I don't know how much time I've spent with any of the other parts so far, but these two have really kept me busy and figuring out its limitations, and I haven't found any. It's just a limitation of your coding. If you figure out in the Scratch programming how it works, you can really do well. Oh yes, connectability. None on top. You have 4 on the side, 2 on the white, 2 on the black, and 2 in the back part. Yes, this does lay flat on both sides. So you have 4 on the side, 4 on the bottom, which are closer, and 4 on the other side, and none on top, 2 in the back, and you actually have an axle opportunity inside of that to do force. So again, this plugs into the side. So until then, may the force applied be good force. I can't probably say the other one's probably some kind of trademark on that. But anyway, you know what I mean. Thank you guys for joining me on the sensor part. I know it's a longer video, but I would go on more about this force sensor and color sensor. Look for our code video. We'll go through each of the code block and talk about and reference movement and acknowledgement and sensibility of each of these. So until then, Mr. Michael, over and out. Thank you guys so much.